Queen's Comic Podcast. Hey, let's go. Gotta press OK every time. Hey, we're the Queen's Comic Podcast. I'm Billy Bombs.
I'm Ian.
Hey, sorry if we seem a little bit crazy. It's been a wild weekend, man. How are you, Ian?
I'm good. My weekend was not that wild. I think yours was.
Oh, mine was wild, but yours was fun.
Mine was fun. You want me to go first?
No, I want to hear your part first, man.
Okay, I'll go first. So, for my birthday, my wife and I went to Strasburg, Pennsylvania, for two reasons. First, to get the hell out of New York City for a weekend, which we hadn't done alone in like a year. And the second reason, check something off my bucket list. I went to the Frazetta Museum. I mentioned, I think, on the last episode that we were going to go, and we went, and it was awesome.
That's cool. I saw you with the original piece that got him in trouble from, was it Sci-Fi Fantasy, where it's all the cavemen fighting each other on the side of a cliff? Was that the original paper?
That was the original art for it. Yeah, almost everything that's on display there is original. There were, I think, they said 2, maybe 3 reproductions that were done on like, high quality, super high res scan on canvas that looked, until you got up real close and noticed there were no brush strokes, you wouldn't be able to tell. But once you notice there's no brush strokes and the texture's not there, right? So you're like, all right, that's a reproduction, and they're upfront about that. When they give you like a little tour if you want, but it's not a huge museum. So we were just my wife and I were just kind of doing our own thing at our own pace. But I was listening to Frazetta's granddaughter give the tour, and she mentioned that one of the paintings, the original, was owned by Kirk Hammett from Metallica, and another one of the paintings, the original, is owned by George Lucas. So those two are, not in the museum, but the reproductions are there. But it's cool. It's literally run by his family. Like Frazetta's daughter-in-law, Lori Frazetta, she was there hanging out doing the second tour, and his grandson, who I guess would be Frank Frazetta III, not Frank Frazetta Jr., he was working in the gift shop, and super friendly. They were happy to answer any questions. Very, very appreciative of the fans. And from the gift shop, I picked up, wasn't going to leave empty-handed, right? So I did pick up an issue of Creeps #3 with the Frazetta cover on it. Not realizing I already had it, but whatever. And then more interesting is I picked up the Vanguard hardcover of Frank Frazetta, World's Greatest Comic Book Cover Artist. And this is the limited edition with the slipcase. And when you
I've seen them offer that. How much was that?
It was $70.
That's not bad. I think online was
that's actually less than the cover price.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah. And then it's signed, the Frank Frazetta signature in there is obviously a stamp because he passed away, but it's also signed by Frank Frazetta Jr. So kind of a cool piece.
Now I have a goal to go get one.
Sorry?
Now I have a goal to get one of those.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a nice piece. It's just a collection of all the work that he's done that's been used as comic book covers over the years. So everything from like the Creepy and Warren stuff to the stuff he did for Verotic and Danzig, to even like the more obscure stuff, like the stuff he did for the ACG Swords of Valor book in like the late 80s. And then
I remember those. I've
EDC
seen them
stuff,
a lot.
the EC stuff, the National Lampoon stuff. Like it's very comprehensive. And it even goes in, it even shows you like revisions that were done and how the paintings, like sometimes he modified them over the years because he wasn't happy with this or that. A great example being his first Conan paperback, where originally he has no neck. And then he adjusted it later on so that Conan had more of a neck.
Oh, that's cool. Did you ever see one of his last works from Mad Magazine?
Yeah, there was actually some original artwork from Mad on display in the museum. Was it the Ringo Starr portrait that he did, I think, was for Mad? That's there. There's one original Death Dealer painting. A ton of what I found actually almost as interesting as seeing like the big paintings close up was seeing like the pencil sketches and like just the ink, the black ink work that he had done. A lot of which was just like figure models, like just very kind of like almost abstract nudes and that type of thing. There was some of the poster art that he did. There was the Mad Magazine Dread cover parody that he did.
That's what I was gonna say. That's the one that's my favorite.
Yeah,
he did a Judge Dredd one, but it's Sylvester Stallone as Dredd.
Yeah. So it's really cool. It's out of the way. If you don't have a car, good luck. It's in the sticks.
Of course not.
Yeah, it's in the sticks.
Now it's gonna be on my bucket list because I want to go out there.
Right, but it's from New York. We got there in less than 2 hours. We left early on Saturday, so there wasn't much traffic. Made it across the George Washington Bridge in 10 minutes, which might have been a record. And yeah, it's literally out in the sticks. You got to drive down like this one lane road to get to what is essentially the Frazetta family estate. It was property that he bought in the Poconos, and the museum is run by the family, and it's $15 to get in, so it's not crazy expensive. They take as much time as you want. You know, they like you to keep your distance from the paintings. You can still get like up to about a foot away from them. And there's no barricades or anything, but they ask you to please respect the little, just kind of have like a step in front of the painting and not to go past the step, which is more than reasonable. They don't let you take pictures unless you're in the pictures. I assume the reason for that is they don't want people with like high-res DSLR cameras coming in and taking reproduction quality photographs, which is
That's so crazy
reasonable.
that we have to worry about that.
Yeah, but you do have
I
to
saw
worry.
that on that show. That dude, you know those guys who Mythbusters.
Uh-huh.
One time he tried to show his keys, and then he got scared. He goes, "People have high resolution. Everything will copy my key for my own house."
Yeah. Yeah.
And it caught me off guard, and I was like, "That's crazy," but I guess they would do that for paintings too.
Right, and I mean, I've got a high res DSLR camera. If I went in there with a tripod, I could take a picture crisp enough at 30 megapixels that I could reproduce a poster size, and it would look fantastic. So I totally understand why they have that rule. But if you want to take a picture with yourself in it in front of the paintings, you can take as many as you want.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it was worth doing. So aside from that, hit a couple of restaurants, hit one little comic store in the area called White Dragon Comics. Kind of a weird name, but whatever. They had a couple of dollar bins out front. I pulled one issue of like an old Charlton book out, and then a weird War Tales that I needed out. Figured, all right, let's go inside and see what they got. And the guy behind the counter couldn't have been nicer. Super friendly, super accommodating. But in the back area where all the good stock was, all the good back issues was, there was a Magic the Gathering tournament going on. And so it was like, if I want to look through these boxes, I'm going to basically have to rub my ass against a bunch of dudes playing Magic because it was really tight fit. So I opted not to do that.
I've done that once.
Yeah.
Where I didn't care, but it looked like the scene from Suicide Squad where the Joker meets the guy from the prison and just starts rubbing him, and I'm like, hello, I was like, I have to find this book, and he was like, oh, I'm trying to play this no, I'm trying to play this instant. And I was like, I'll instantly be gone if you move,
Well, I know from working in a comic store in the 90s that a lot of stores depend on that for their income. You want a half dozen to a dozen guys sitting in there handing over money, buying pack after pack of cards for hours at a time. That's a nice source of revenue. And if you're a small shop in a, not in a huge urban area, you might depend on that. So I don't blame the store for having
no, 100%. I just came from Anyone Comics. They're doing a signing right now for Greg Pak.
Uh-huh.
And right after that is a Magic the Gathering card game. I had to go over there to return a table I borrowed for the weekend, or I would have been here an hour ago.
Okay.
So I do understand that, but you've heard that Wizards of the Coast has been kind of this is like this is from different stores, because I know other stores have opted out of Wizards of the Coast, the owners of Magic the Gathering. Mm-hmm. Sorry if I'm going off topic a little bit.
It's fine. We always do that.
Yeah, but they make you send in videotape of how your space looks like, and they'll kick you off of being a member of the a place to play the game if you're not up to some standard that they make up for the week. And every year they make you re-sign up. And mind you, they'll change their mind because they realize they need you for the local area.
Yeah,
because you're the only one in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, we've made a mistake, but it's too late. You already missed out on something important.
Yeah.
Like these guys missed out on I collect pre-release boxes for every Magic the Gathering because I love the artwork. And I always want to have something. One day when I'm gone, let some kid go through it, whatever, and find some cool cards. But I enjoy the artwork. I enjoy the idea of Magic because when I was a kid, I loved it. So I couldn't even get the pre-release. I was still mad about it.
I have never played it.
When I was in high school, not in high school, when I was in junior high, we played it a lot. Yeah. When high school, I discovered drugs. So that was the end of that. I went on my own Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, growing up, my stepbrother was really into it. And now my son, he plays. He's not like crazy hardcore about it, but he does play. He's got a pretty big deck of cards. So I mean,
people like the camaraderie. What's that word? what's the word when people get together?
Like a tournament?
No, not tournament. Like it's something to talk about how we do Queen's Comic Party.
I don't know what you mean.
I messed it up. It's like camaraderie or whatever it's called.
Oh, camaraderie.
Camaraderie. I mess up words all the time. That's why a lot of people do it. There's also an older league that only plays older decks, and then there's a younger league that plays that. And there's even guys who play digitally and they meet up. And I find that interesting as hell.
Yeah. But let me show off a few other things that I picked up this weekend.
Hell yeah, I want to see it.
Also, I picked up another dollar bin score comics interview. Great Conan interview, but it's got an interview with adult film star Kelly Nichols about her love of comic books.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was kind of neat. Great cover around that. And then I got, as a birthday gift from my friend Streetside Anthony, he gave me the Waldo Comics collection, which is some early Kim Deitch Underground stuff. I was happy to get
We have a Waldo book.
Not this one, I don't think.
No, I get you, but we didn't know what it was at first.
Yeah, I didn't know what this was either when he gave it to me until I opened it up. I'm like, oh, it's Kim Deitch stuff. So that's
that's
cool.
Excellent. So is that everything?
I think so.
I only got one book and I kept it because we didn't know what it was and I couldn't look it up.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with Waldo until he handed me that. And then
what a great guy. I love Streetside.
Yeah, nice guy. I also found in a dollar bin the issue of American Splendor with the late Ed Piskor's early work in it.
I didn't know that. I told you I have a signed copy from American Splendor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's signed to my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Harvey Picar.
Yeah.
Oh, I also found 2 signed books of from Ed Piskor.
Did you?
Yeah, I forgot I had them. They're like not digest size, but you know those like I want to say funny page book size stuff that you would see like Fantagraphics put out. And both of them signed, one from 2008, one from 2018.
Oh wow, okay.
I bought it. I think I got in a trade with with Chris Comics, who's on like KRS Comics on Instagram, and that was cool because he knows I like to collect oddball books.
Yeah,
it was in my collection. It was excellent.
I also picked up finally.
I just put that away at the comic shop.
Yeah, complete New York City Outlaws, all 5 issues. Issue number 5 is a ghost. It's impossible to find. When you find it, it's either in a dollar bin or you're going to pay $300 or $400 for it. So $20 for this was a happy compromise for me, even though I had the other 4 issues. But it's got a great interview with Ken Landgraf in here, where he talks about, you know, where the ideas came from and working with Thor. It reproduces all the covers in color. It's got, speaking of cartoonist kayfabe related things, Jim Rugg wrote the introduction for it. Really nice reproduction quality. It looks pretty sharp.
I can't wait to buy my copy. I kind of paid off all my debts this week instead of buying stuff.
Yeah, well, this is brand. It's not going out of print anytime soon.
No. I put it on the side to pick up next week at the comic shop.
There you go. And
yeah, because I was not going to miss this.
Another one that I pre-ordered like months ago was The Complete Web of Horror, which I don't know. Are you familiar with Web of Horror?
No, but I think I just had a conversation about it earlier today. Who's the cover artist for it?
Cover artist is Jeffrey Catherine Jones.
But it's not one of those Harlan Ellison books, is it?
No. So Web of Horror was basically done by the guys who published Cracked magazine.
Okay.
And as Cracked was a knockoff of Mad.
I just cracked when you said that.
Yeah. As Cracked was a knockoff of Mad, Web of Horror was a knockoff of Creepy and Eerie in the Warren Horror magazines. And it's got really early work from Michael Kaluta and Bernie Wrightson. And the final issue was completed but never published, and the artwork disappeared for decades until it showed up randomly on Heritage Auctions. And at which point, the powers that be were able to make it work that the existing artwork was all put together, and then it was finally published in this hardcover edition with the actual original issues that came before it. So it's really cool. You get early Bernie Wrightson work, your early Michael Kaluta work, like before they were doing stuff for DC, before they were famous. And you got Frank Bruner and a whole bunch of other cool guys involved with
One and done book.
There were, I believe, 3 issues published, and the 4th issue is the one that was finished but never released.
Oh no, I meant the trade.
Oh, the trade? Yeah, just one. That's it. Everything.
What was it, like 50? Was it a $50 trade?
I got it for less than that, but yeah, that's what the cover price is on it. It's nice.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah, it's cloth bound. It's got a bunch of like interesting stuff about like the history of the series. like 20 pages of like bonus material type stuff, and seeing the unpublished rights and stuff is why I wanted it.
Of course, you want to finally get your eyes on it.
Right, exactly. And one other pickup from this week that we just got in the mail today, which I know that we're a little obsessed around here, but my wife and I found it's a printer's proof of a week's worth of original Nancy comics from the 60s.
That is awesome.
So that's getting framed and going on the wall. It's pretty big. It's a little hard to see it because it's in plastic right now, but
yeah, but that stuff is great.
Yeah, it's for release week of August 27th through September 1st, 1962.
I like it.
Yeah, something a little different, a little unique.
You got to collect different stuff, man, and have fun with it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my week. It's now it's your turn. Tell us about your weekend, because you probably have a lot more stories than I do.
I do, but before I start, unfortunately, I want to announce that for all our viewers, there's a YouTube show that we follow called Comic Storian. He passed away a few days ago. So if you get a chance, please subscribe to his channel and watch all his old videos. And he had a second channel going up. This is one of the godfathers of YouTube comics.
Mm-hmm.
So just in case, I forgot about it to say at the beginning. Sorry I didn't, but I would like to mention that now because I don't want to forget how good that was, you know?
Let's also mention that TiVo from Lords of the Long Box passed away about a week ago as well.
Oh, that's rough, man.
Yeah.
I was wondering why people were writing that this has been the hardest week for so many creators.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that one.
Yeah.
So RIP to those guys, rest in power. But that's why we keep doing the show. I called you, I was like, yeah, let's do an episode because like we should keep going. People need content. People want to listen about comics and bring positivity. And also I had a kind of a wild weekend at a show called the Brooklyn Comic Con. And it started off kind of nutty at first, like kind of extremely nutty. So I'm going to go into detail of how it went and how it ended. It starts out with Friday. It's a Brooklyn Comic Con. It's more of a cosplay themed comic convention.
Right.
I was there early to set up on a Friday. We came with an artist, Alfonso Martin, and King of Chaos, Logan Black, a professional wrestler, and me set up. And that's what the Queen's Comic Party is. It's a mix of the wildest people you could possibly get. And we set up. And then the next morning I came at 8 a.m. because I thought it was an opening at 10. There was no opening at 10. Not at 11. And then at 12, it finally opened. But only people came in was a couple of cosplayers to dance around. And I was getting super annoyed. And I was like, hey, what's going on? So I already made friends with a couple of other vendors. My buddy Hesh, who runs Evo Comics, was there. He was a lifesaver. Like, he was like, oh, don't worry, it's gonna get all right. He's never been there before in his life. So he was like, this is roll with it. Friends with Ruined Creations and a few other creators. And I went around. I decided to go outside and see what's going on. But I said to myself, I said, let me go get some cookies or something outside and hand it out to all the vendors I'm friends with. So I went to the macaroon people. I got a big stack of macaroons. I turn around. There's the longest line of comic book fans I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
I mean, like, holy shit, was this wrapping around the block? I think the back of it, I was on the back of the line getting macaroons, and then when I turned around, it was the front of the line. I went back in, gave out the macaroons to everybody, said, hey, listen, there's a huge crowd outside. I realized the first hour was early birds, and it was only cosplayers bought it.
Yeah.
I was one of only 6 comic book vendors there out of about 150 tables of original art, original statues, original everything. So everybody was in a good mood. I told them they came in, and they came in like droves. I didn't sell as much comics as I would have liked compared to how much I sold in toys, video games, posters, puzzles. These nerds came for stuff. Like, I should have brought the Batman bundle thing I got from you, because people would have fought their mother for this. And nobody wanted a deal. They just wanted to buy stuff, and they were having fun time. And it kept going, it kept going, it kept going. Only issue was security was very slow with people, because one cosplayer came in with a real sword and they got really tight about it. So it's not the Brooklyn Comic Con's fault that happened, so it slowed down. But that was it. That was the only problem we had.
Yeah.
There was a wrestling ring with Battle Pro wrestling, and some idiot jumped in. And he needed help, so they gave him the help that he needed. We're gonna leave it at that. You know what I mean? Fucking idiot. Sorry to curse. But then they had a stripper pole set up and a bunch of strippers dancing on it in front of the sexy nerds bodega. So that was pretty funny. Sodas and waters, very cheap for this place. Like there was no question
good.
that
That's nice to see
$2,
them do that.
$1, that's it. This was like like because we were set up next to Samar's Comics. I guess they couldn't come, so we took their booth and we just paid the premium because it was a corner booth. We had a lot of fun. We were there with Bulletproof Comics from Brooklyn. We were with a Staten Island dealer who's great. We were with this beautiful couple from Uptown Manhattan who I always forget their names, but they always at Big Apple Comic Con, and they sell the best Silver Age comics.
Oh, Metropolis, maybe?
Maybe like an older African American couple.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I don't think so. They're more down to earth. They're fun. I love talking to them. I walked around. I hung out with a bunch of anime people that were like setting up their booth selling artwork, and they were all doing phenomenal. This was a great show. I picked up like some stuff from Ruin Creations. They do ceramics, so I got the Ultimate Warrior, and this is like this is cast in like stone or whatever. It's a porcelain or something like that.
What is it? Just like
and
a
she
display
painted
piece?
it, and I love Ultimate Warrior. Huh?
It's just like a display piece?
Yeah, it's just a statue. I just thought it was cool. She was really big onto horror movie stuff, so that's how we started talking. And plus, I'm very annoying, so I always talk to people. I don't care. and then Alfonso gave me some artwork for he's online. This is his prints.
Oh, that's
little
nice.
one. He's a beautiful artist. He's the very first artist to ever come to Queen's Comic Party.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite artists was the Jelly Empire. They were the ones who designed the badges. I took all the stickers. The stickers are everywhere. I love stuff like this. I love aliens abducting people.
Yeah.
This is like a dream tattoo of mine. Actually, it's a dream image of me being abducted. So I had a lot of fun. Not a lot of comic book artists, but it was really cosplay themed. And the reason it kind of started late is because they had an after party from 8:00. That was like a dance party.
Yeah.
So they take that shit to a new level of cosplay. They had red carpets. They had this. The wrestling was phenomenal. The volunteers were great. They were some of the hardest working people I ever met in my life. Usually I have a lot of shit to say about people, but these people worked so hard that it was nothing but respect. And I'll do it again next year. But I'm gonna bring maybe less comics. You know how much manga I moved?
No.
4 comics.
Yeah.
And I sold I brought Battle of the Planets I had for like 20 years. I sold it to a friend of mine who saw me. My buddy Stan was like, I love Battle of the Planets. I was like, here's the whole set for Michael Turner and I think Michael Silvestri. Mark Silvestri. And that was pretty much it. It wasn't like a comic book bonanza. Like it was called Brooklyn Comic Con, but it definitely aimed for the cosplay aspect of it.
Right.
And they nailed it down. But there was so many people came in and they were doing so much advertising. They were so good at the advertising. I'm still getting ads today.
My only experience at Brooklyn Comic Con was last year when my friend Mark was down and we went to the Crazy Eddie show at a venue like 2 or 3 blocks away from where Brooklyn Comic Con was happening. And before the show opened, we were there a little early. We had like 2 hours to kill. We're like, all right, let's go find a bar, get a few drinks. And we found a bar that was like right next to the convention center. We first walked in, it was empty. It was just us at the bar. But I think the show was ending. And so people were filing out from the convention center into the bar. So after we'd been there for like half an hour, we were surrounded by cosplayers.
Yeah, and that's what they're really into.
Right.
And I kind of understand it. But sorry, I'm a little bit tired. My throat is killing me. I respect that. I love it. You know what I mean?
I have no problem with it. It's just not my thing.
No, it's not. Neither is mine. But anybody who else came for superhero stuff, superhero stuff, movie stuff, to talk shit, to have fun, like just have a good time, and I loved it. Cosplayers really stuck to themselves. Luckily, some of the more beautiful ones were really talkative, so we were having fun with them. They would it was like the prettier the girl, the more into comics she was.
Yeah.
It was like, it kind of was blowing my mind. I was surrounded by beautiful women looking for comics. And that's all about me. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
But then average people were not into it as much, which was a shocker. But we had a good time. We had a great time. And now I know how to set up better in the future. We have a rack coming for the 29th show.
Right.
And we're going to do well. I'm going to bring more Funkos. I'm going to bring more action figures. I'm going to bring more open mind, more money for macaroons, stuff like that.
Got to make sure
And they
you're
were all
well fed.
super. Everybody was a hardworking person. It was great.
Yeah.
And only thing I felt bad for them, and I offered them this help in this one. I said, listen, you are on the same day as 5 Points Fest.
Right.
And that was like kind of dividing the audience, including the vendors.
Yeah.
If somehow they're competing with each other on the Puerto Rican Day Parade weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in Queens. That's some of the biggest nerds I know are all Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
So it was like you're splitting them 3 ways where to go. Like, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. But I also want to celebrate with my family, the parade. You know what I mean? So
have you ever been to 5 Points?
Hard. Huh?
Have you ever been to 5 Points?
I was there when Midtown was part of it.
I was at the very first one.
That one Midtown advertised it.
Yeah, it was on like the west side of Manhattan, if I remember right.
Yeah.
By the river. And it was barely a comic show. They had 1 or 2 comic vendors and a couple of artists, but it was mostly
it's a toy show.
Yeah, it was. But the first one, they were marketing it as comics and toys. Now, at this point, it's just toys, I think, which is a more accurate way to describe it. I went because I wanted to get my picture taken with the Sexecutioner from Guar.
That's cool.
He was there, so I got a picture with him, and I think I had a press pass for it, so I got in for free, wandered around, ran into a couple of coworkers that I'm friendly with, so that was kind of cool. It was a fun show. I didn't need to immediately go back because like the whole small run artisanal toy thing, I like it. I like looking at that stuff, but I'm not going to buy much of it, so I just sort of wandered around and I didn't go back any of the following years. But I'm glad it's still around for those who are more into it because it was like something unique and it was different.
100%. But like somehow that market has fallen off because I'm a big fan of those figures, and now they're so super pricey.
Yeah.
Or they're just, how do I say, too crappy. Like I don't really need Sofubi everything, which is a Japanese soft toy.
Yeah.
But I'm into like handmade toys, casted. Like I'm a big James Groman fan. He did the Man Thing.
Okay.
And it's $350, and I want it, but everything's $350. The G.I. Joe box set, which I'm probably not gonna buy because I'll never read it.
Right.
Or James Groman, which will go up here next to my Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
But I do like small figures. I like small run stuff. I'm a big Love Saves the Day guy, and I love Toy Tokyo. So I'm into that. But I can't justify buying one figure for so high. That like these Warriors are super rare. But they're super rare because everybody wants them. Those are super rare because you made very little.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I do have a couple of like little handmade figures and stuff like that. But I like it when they do mainstream characters. There's a new guy. He's not new, actually. I apologize for him. Urban Azteca. And I think he's a phenomenal artist. But he doesn't come. I didn't see him in New York, but I see him in California. And he did Godzilla as an Aztec warrior mix. And now he does the San Francisco Giants baseball jerseys.
Oh, okay.
And they do a tribute to like Aztec heritage. So I love stuff like that. But other than that, like I really like I'm gonna go to 5 Points in the future, but it's kind of killed me that I realized that every convention we've gone to is kind of like the same convention all year long. Mm-hmm. And Brooklyn Comic Con offered something different.
Yeah.
5 Points Festival offered something completely different.
Yep.
But Chiller and New York Comic Con offers the same shit. Or we go to Baltimore, and then we don't wait on no lines with no cosplayers.
Right.
And I want to start traveling for all that stuff, but even I can't justify the price.
No, it gets expensive when you got to go away for like multiple nights. It's not just gas and tolls, and the admission, but you've got your spending money. It's the hotels and the food that really kill it.
Yes.
But we're going to go to Jersey Collectors Fest.
It's not bad.
Right. But we're going to go to Jersey Collectors Fest in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, we're going
not
to
Collectors Fest. We're never going back to Collectors Fest. Garden State Comic Fest. We'll go to that.
That one I'm excited about. Did you have a sketch from Walt Simonson?
I think it opens at 10.
No, but have you ever gotten a sketch from Walt Simonson yet?
Say that again.
Walt Simonson. Have you gotten a sketch yet?
A sketch? No, a signature, but not a sketch.
We're gonna try and do it this time because
I
he's
saw
a
he's gonna
great
be
guy.
there. It's a good guest list.
It's a great guest list.
Yeah,
but it's kind of similar every year.
it is.
So
it is.
I need a Louis Simonson signed book,
Mhm.
and I need the guys who did Green Lantern, and I heard Jim Lawson's gonna be there from. Is that the guy who did Ninja Turtles? If I said his name correctly.
I think so. Howard Shakin's going to be there.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
he can sign all my copies of American Flag.
Have you ever met him?
Not yet.
He's awesome. He's he's hysterical. He will cut you down. there will be some banter, some witty banter, and maybe some insults, but it's all in good fun. His sense of humor is exactly like you would expect it to be. He's a character, but he's a lot of fun, and he's really interesting, and he's not afraid to tell stories or speak his mind. I like him a lot. I've met him twice, and he's just cool and ridiculously talented. But
I'm not gonna go with a big budget because I'm dying to get a new collections. But now I'm kind of because I have so many comics, and me and you have so many comics between us now that I want to aim to get more. I like the hunt again. The thrill is back. And toys is more of what I'm going to aim for too. Because also I'm going to finish on my toy collections.
Yeah.
But let's see. I think we're going to have fun. A lot of Jersey people are fun. I'm down.
I'm excited for it. It'll be a good show. And then the weekend after that, on the 29th, we're back in Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn Invasion makes a return. We have a commercial coming up soon.
We do.
They're working on it. Me and you were supposed to tape it, so I owe you some money on some stuff, so I apologize. But we'll get to it. The thing is, though, it's like I'm getting a lot more free time soon because work is like kind of dried up. So you're gonna start seeing more creative, wild shit from me. So like pray, and we'll have fun. And everybody who's who like now that we're on YouTube more often, please like and subscribe to our channel and give us a follow.
Do it. Hit the thumbs up, slap the subscribe, all that cliched stuff that every other YouTuber says. Leave a comment. Help us juice the algorithm. Blah 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 blah.
And let us know what would you like to hear about, because like we enjoy talking about all this stuff, and me and Ian have a love of punk rock and hardcore, but we don't talk about it much because our love of comics, movies, and everything else kind of outweighs it. You know, and because I used to do a hardcore video show before,
I know,
and it was just too much of a bummer. Everybody was like, "Why?" They wanted me to hate every album, and I was like, "I can't."
No,
it's like hating an independent comic. I was like, "I can't." You know how hard this shit is.
It takes a lot of energy to hate everything and be angry all the time.
Yeah, I just sound like a jerk because I make fun of people, but in reality, I respect anybody who tries hard.
Yeah, me too. You put out an album, that's a lot of work. You put out a comic, that's a lot of work. It might not speak to me. You know, you finish a movie, that's a lot of work. A lot of work to make a movie. And not every movie's great, but if you finish it, you've accomplished something and you should be proud of it.
Yeah, immortality comes like that.
Yeah.
We're all temporary. But thinking of temporary, we just got a whole batch of stickers. So if you would like to get some, please message us. It's all die-cut stickers with a Queen's Comic Podcast, Bombs Away Comics, me as a hot rod, our little mascot, and Queen's Comic Party.
Those are awesome. Save me a second.
Yeah. Yeah, I will. It came way too late for the show, and this is way too small compared to how big my head is. But it's still funny. But I love little tchotchkes like this that we're going to give out. And just thank you for the support, and hopefully we do more in the future.
Cool.
All right, brother. See you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Queen's Comic Podcast.